7 o'clock, I'll call this special meeting of the City Council to order. If you can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move next to roll call. Clerk Treasurer Aldridge.
Carolyn Pearson. Present. Brian Garrison.
Here.
Dick Traeger.
Here.
Dale Stewart.
Here.
Mike Shockley.
Here.
All right. 7:01, I'll call the public hearing to order. This is a public hearing on the budget, on the proposed budget for 2018 as required by Indiana Code 61.117.3. This is an opportunity for anybody from the public to put in their input on the proposed budget for 2018. We did have a budget workshop in August 9th, I believe, where the City Council expressed their desires on the budget, and the budget ordinance will be prepared how the majority of the council desires. So the budget ordinance will be prepared with your guys' recommendations on there. With that, public hearing is open. Do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on the matter of the 2018 proposed budget? Hearing none, we'll close the public meeting. Anybody? All right. Public meeting is closed, or public hearing is closed. We'll move on to the second item on the agenda today, and that's Anderson's request regarding Main Street. We met a couple weeks ago. I can't remember your name.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle?
Yep.
I know I printed out the email and I gave it to the council here today. Do you want to, I guess the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, basically, when you close that section of road off, you're adding a lot more turns and hills for our semis, our customers to go through. And when all of our customers from the north are there at 421 and 18, either they turn right to go to Brookston, or they turn left and come here to Delphi. And if we make that harder for them, then we think that they're gonna obviously choose to go to Brookston. If any of you have ever been in a semi, going up that hill is tremendously hard, especially if somebody's making a left-hand turn and you gotta stop on a hill. It's kind of dangerous. Not to mention whether you're turning or going straight, you're gonna tear up more road turning. I know it's a state highway and the city of Delphi doesn't pay to maintain that, as you said. Still, that road was a state highway at one time, and the roadbed is 80,000 pound, or was an 80,000 pound road in the past. We'd still like at least to be able to get our customers' trucks through there and out to us, whether it be grain, who I represent, or fertilizer, cotton mill. We think that we always consider ourselves a Delphi business, so we would definitely like to have that open for our trucks. There's just about not an easier way to get out to us in a straight shot.
Thank you, sir. Do we have discussion amongst the council or any questions for Kyle?
Where is the plant in Brookston?
Right off of Wood Street, which is, they just make a right-hand turn off the 18 into there.
How long do you figure the trucks to be going through if we was to amend the ordinance? How long of a period of time? Would it be just through harvest, or are you meaning to open it up permanently?
For the grain side, we would like from September to the end of November. But for our cob and PN group, I mean, they're moving trucks all year round. But for us personally in the grain, that's what we would appreciate.
Say the dates again, please.
September 1st through November 15th.
September 3rd, November 5th?
1st, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I find it hard to believe that we would spend $22 million to design our downtown to make it pedestrian friendly. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to have your family sitting out here at one of our restaurants on the sidewalk with semis driving up and down a very narrow road now that two vehicles, normal vehicles,
Correct.
can't go through.
You're at a better advantage when you're in a semi anyway. You're going to be going slow from that stoplight.
You're still oversized, and
You're
that
oversized.
is going to create wear and tear on the roads that we're redoing, and
From there,
I
you're
just
going
don't-
downhill, and it's a straight shot, you're not turning. There's no
you know,
torque on it.
there's tons of semis that go up the South Hill all the time.
Correct, I used to live over there about
And
5
it
years
doesn't
ago.
seem to be that many of them that cause an issue that we have stop traffic here on there, so.
When school's letting out a session, there's always stop traffic there. I lived right there on the hill 4 or 5 years ago is when I moved away. That time of day, it was always terrible going through there. And that's,
Then you have the
that's
other
our-
option of going out on Old 25 and getting on out there and not having to come through the town. Personally, my belief, just to let you know where I'm coming from, if I could have any say-so, we wouldn't even let them go down Washington Street. We have a new business gonna open up down there. There's gonna be more traffic there. I don't think them should go down there.
okay.
You know, so I'm weighing towards, we're trying to better our community. We know you guys have helped us. We know we worked together during the fires and all the other stuff, and you're a great partner to our city. But we also have to do our best to bring our people in and other people in to be in our town, and I don't think they want to sit there and have trucks running up and down. It's hard enough when you try to get out of this angle parking to see a car, let alone to have semis parked behind you, pulling up when you're there, so.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
I've given this a lot of thought as well. I have ridden in a semi, and when we've had to turn on going south, there's people turning onto Prince William, so the truck has to stop. There's people turning the next 3 streets that you have to stop. There's buses coming out. There's all kinds of stuff. If we're talking minutes, and that's what, is bandied about, it's this many minutes more to go this way than it is to go this way. But minutes in a car and minutes in a truck with 2,000 bushels of grain behind you are a whole lot different. And when somebody's sitting, the operator of a combine is sitting waiting for that truck to get back, they're noticing that it's taking a long time. I just think that I could offer a variance of, I wasn't prepared to go that length of time variance, but to get through the really major part of harvest of 6 weeks, for instance, is what I could offer as a compromise to, and that Main Street Road doesn't belong to any one of us. The Andersons are part of the city. They're not just a business. We annexed them in. They did not argue against annexation. But, they're a part of a business just as much as Wallman's is a business, just as much as
And so
anybody else's
have you asked
business.
anybody locally though, what the citizens think versus the farmer that doesn't live here, that doesn't live in the city? The people that live up and down these roads that are putting the money in and trying to advance?
That
their
money that was
property that
put
they
in
don't-
was NDOT money as much as it
No,
was.
there's other people down through here buying homes and fixing their homes up, Carolyn, that don't want semis running up and down that road either.
I don't say that they would run up and down it
Well, they
year
will. They
round,
said
but
in
they
the
would
letter
run
that
up
it's
and down
10
it
to
for.
20 trips a day. He said it might be only minutes difference, but it's 10 to 20, maybe 10 or 20 trips a day that they make. You get that towards 4 farmers.
I
It
wouldn't
just
say
10,
it's
that's
20
40
trips.
trips a day. Okay, so I give it 10. So that's 4 farmers, that's 40 trips a day. Somebody's going up and down that road twice because they went this way and back, is now 80 trips.
I guess my question would be, Anderson's does have property within the city of Delphi. The deliveries are made outside of the city of Delphi because you're getting on the Hoosier-Harlan Highway and not going to the fertilizer plant. To me, it's no different than U.S. Aggregates, which does have some property within the city of Delphi. but the majority of their business is outside, or Indiana Packers Corporation, which has the same thing. So if we allow variance to the Andersons, are we also going to grant the same variance to Indiana Packers Corporation, U.S. Aggregates, which are, for all intents and purposes, the same Delphi corporation? They're abutting the city of Delphi, have property within the city of Delphi, but the deliveries are made to roads that are outside the control of the city of Delphi.
Well, IBC, it wouldn't make any sense for them to go down Main Street.
So,
I want to know something.
Aaron,
If you get a non-favorable from county, would you consider opting out of the city limits?
I know it's been brought up. I can't speak that for everyone.
Aaron, it's my understanding, you know, the work we just did in Main Street, but it's not up to heavy truck standards, isn't that correct?
That standard, that road's built to a standard in 1952. I don't know what the road limits were back then. I know trucks have gotten bigger, trucks have gotten heavier. They don't put concrete roads that are 9 inches thick anymore. They're typically thicker than that. The work that we did down there, for all intents and purposes, is a Band-Aid. We were told we couldn't fix and tear the road outright. So everything we've done down there is, in essence, a Band-Aid. We're hoping to get, 20 years out of it, and hopefully it'll last. We didn't do center lines. Those are still exposed. It's on the original road bed. They didn't even put new aggregate down. It's on the original road bed. So to have 90,000-pound trucks pounding on it that often, I can't tell you how long that road's going to last. I know it was pretty expensive this time to put the Band-Aid on it. And there is no fixing it like that again. That's done. The next time, full reconstruct.
And how much did we spend on this?
That first section, the first section alone, was $257, I think.
it was in the 240s or 250s.
And this next section, it includes sidewalk and curb and everything, but that was 1.2 million.
No, this section was 900 something. I think combined they were close to
1.2
1.2.
sounded number. So yeah, total was probably 1.2, yeah, that's where I'm getting the 1.2 then. So we spent $1.2 million rehabbing Main Street to get it to
But
last.
the city taxpayers did not spend all that money. It was through NDOT grants.
Well,
That was
half
through
of the
relinquishment.
funds were from NDOT Community Crossings Grant, half of the funds were from relinquishment, except for engineering. That was paid 100% by the city of Delphi, but that was also through relinquishment funds. But there's no guarantee that NDOT Community Crossings or that grant funding will be available in the future when we need to tear out and completely rebuild this roadway.
The next time it'll be on Delphi. And I think we discussed a little bit, it's the quality of life too. I've had several people say to me, why are the trucks going down there? That type of thing. So as constituents, I gotta think about that.
But we also have to think of economic development, and I read what Laura Walsh said, that we're not business friendly if we're not truck friendly. I think reality is if we want to keep business in our community, we have to compromise slightly at least. I mean, just to say absolutely not seems like a real hard line to me.
Well, and you're also talking a maximum of 8 weeks from this point. And this can be done with a 1-year trial membership or 1-year trial thing and see how it goes this year. And we can evaluate the road after those 8 weeks are done. So, I mean, it's not a permanent thing any more than it is the
Well,
other
you
one.
just said that you're gonna still have the Cobb trucks and the rest of the trucks.
Mhm.
It's only periodically that it's the grain trucks.
Those aren't as business critical with customers.
You still don't
They
need,
have
you
only
still
one
don't need them
place.
downtown in the business area where you're trying to have restaurants and people eating.
Well, I
With
mean,
all due respect, you just can't do for Henderson's. If
no,
you're going to do it, you need to wipe it off the plate.
Yes.
We just start fresh and you let whoever wants to drive down Main Street, drive down Main Street.
Yes.
Because you can't give
You can't
special privilege to
differentiate.
one person.
You could never
And
enforce that.
it'd be an enforcement nightmare for
Yes.
the police department too, so.
Yeah, it'd have to be for everybody, for those 8 weeks. And at this point, it would be an 8-week trial.
Well, it's not a trial when you make an amendment, it's just another effort to try to please everybody, and you're not gonna do it, because there's people in the city that don't want trucks going through.
Well,
And
It's a
they're
farming
just as
community.
important, they're just as important as the Andersons,
bet.
because they pay tax dollars also.
you bet, but
And
you
so to
also.
come in here and make a rush agreement to do this without actually letting the people of the city talk to you is wrong. So if you make that motion tonight, you're wrong, because you're the one that's always talking about letting the citizens speak.
You bet. If I'd
So-
got this earlier, I would have asked a lot of questions,
You did get it. You had a whole day to work on it,
the whole day.
you know. You're
Because I don't do
always quick-
anything
You're
else,
always quick
Brian.
with everything else you got, so,
You
Well,
bet.
and
I always have an opinion.
yeah. Wrong or not.
so,
I have
couldn't-
something to say.
sorry, Mike, actually procedurally,
I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
thank you. Procedurally, we already passed an ordinance on this, so we would have to pass an ordinance to amend that ordinance to allow trucks. And so tonight, I would think if we want to change anything, we would discuss how we would direct the city attorney to draft that, and we would take it under consideration at the October 2nd meeting. So it wouldn't change for the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
And that's fair for everybody. I
But
think.
then, yeah, because we don't have anything in front of us to amend that ordinance at this point.
Legally, can't.
Right. And that gives us a chance to talk to our constituents and find out.
But we would still want the language, or an idea of the language, so that City Attorney Martin can draft that.
Well, you know, when Mike brought up the annexation issue, you know, there's been no threats made by the Andersons.
No,
but-
I didn't say that.
But, you know, they're paying $20,000 into city taxes, and, you know, it's not a small business we're looking at here, and I realize everybody would be using that road, all trucks, for that period of time, if indeed some compensation was made for them to have. But, you know, it wouldn't be a real positive thing if they decide to de-annex themselves. I mean, we wouldn't look real good to the public, to businesses wanting to come here. I don't know. I mean, I'm not being threatened, and I'm not threatening anybody else, but, you know, it's my opinion that compromise could be tried.
And you had this conversation when we passed this, and I believe that you made the motion to pass it.
Because I could see that there was no support otherwise. And Aaron was saying absolutely not, absolutely no trucks.
How would you have no support? You have the 3 to win. How would you not have support?
I think.
I beg your pardon? You had the 3 to win.
Well,
Man,
that's
that
kind of,
never vetoed it.
well, you know, it's the same thing that happens every week. What I'm saying is, why wishy-washy? If you're gonna make a motion towards something, then why would you not? Would you
Well, there's
change
new
your
information now,
I'm
Brian.
not talking to you.
Well, there's new information. I
I'm
don't care
not
if you're talking to me or
you.
not.
There's not.
There's new
Hey! We
information.
had this information when we started. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You can tell me to shut up, but don't touch me.
All right. Well, let's do things in a civil manner here. Because we were thinking about embarrassing ourselves in
I
front
would
of
like
our
to,
smart here.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to say something about the trucking industry. We have trucking industry, we are an agriculture county. There's no doubt. We have semis coming from all over the state through this area. The last 2 businesses that come into our city, inside our city limits, are the last 3 are truck related. Right down here on North Washington Street. I went to the county, called Mr. Coates, and asked him to put up some traffic limit signs on 9th Street because they had kids running around with semis coming through there. So you gotta really consider everything when you consider what the Andersons have proposed. Yeah, we're gonna have semis coming through here no matter what. It's just the idea, well, we open up this street for 8 weeks, so take a move truck through. That's the whole thing that I see.
Most cities have truck routes.
Yeah.
You have truck routes for a reason. So we're at the point that somebody has to make a motion or not make a motion.
Well, are we just tabling it till the next meeting till we?
Well, I'd like to, I guess we don't necessarily need a motion, but we need some sort of way to direct the city attorney to draft this language.
I would be okay with the ordinance as it sits, with an exception of those, as it turns out, right now anyway, 7 weeks, but, you know, whatever language for a window to be put in there where that does not apply. I would be okay with that. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels. But. So it's basically the same ordinance, except it has a clause in it that says it is not in effect between these 2 dates.
What are those 2 dates? The dates stated by
Well,
representative?
the window closes at November 15th, you said. And for this year, I'm not, I mean, if we're just gonna try it for a test year, then it would be, you know, whenever it activate this year. Or you could go with a permanent thing and go that route for next year and on, I don't know. What is your typical grain season?
About September 15th through the November 15th.
September 15th through
Yeah.
November 15th?
President Pro Tem Pearson, September 15th and November 15th.
I would be more in favor of a shorter period in a trial basis. I mean, I hadn't thought of an 8-week period. I was,
October's our busiest month.
Well, by the time we get to our next meeting, it will be a 7-week window at that point.
you know, I don't disagree with it's disruptive to people with trucks going through. But I think trucks are not, I mean, they try to be considerate of the area. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of farmers that see Delphi as very unfriendly. And you know, I just think there's a safety factor going up that hill that's pretty, I mean, hopefully nobody runs into a school bus.
Or a kid running through a car between these parked cars out here.
Well, I don't think Delphi's in there. I think the county is just from the way the roads are because the creek, the rivers, there's no straight way, any other straight ways across, you know, that's the biggest thing.
Worcester County Truck Route takes them out to Rockfield.
Yeah.
And you should drive that sometime. I mean, there is brush over the roads to the point where it knocks the mirrors. I mean, it's
Well, I'm saying it's not
horrible
ideal,
route.
that's right. Nothing's ideal here.
If there was a better road to the north, yeah, that would be great for everybody.
Yeah.
But, you know, we eliminated coming from the north in from Carrollton Road with all the bump outs and, you know, I mean, it's certainly a long ways from convenient for people to have to come in a 421 if you're living east of that. But, you know, that's the only way you can come, so you have to do that. And I think farmers are willing to do that. I mean, they're willing to do whatever we allow them to do, certainly, but, you know, it's just such a time-sensitive, crucial waiting if they get caught and they can't get back, and, you know, they're trying to get as many loads in a day's time.
It's a business. So it sounds like you're kind of in agreement with me. What window would you like to see?
Well, I guess whatever we could make happen, I guess I would like to try for some compromise here.
Councilman Shockley?
I would like to see a window, 7 weeks. I don't know what day that starts, don't know what day that finishes. Just a 7-week trial period and let Aaron see what it does to the road. And I know he's worked diligently on that road. And I know that, there's a lot of things going on. But I think a 7-week period would be sufficient for us to look at.
Is there a way to monitor the road, see what kind of traffic increases from it? Like how many, we put out some tests or something?
Normally we do that towards the beginning of the summer through the Tippecanoe County Area Planning Commission. I went back and looked today. I don't think we had any traffic count data for East Main Street. It's been under construction this year. It's supposed to be monitored this year, but because it was under construction, we wouldn't have
No test stations?
real numbers.
Mike, where do you come up with 7 weeks?
If you go
I'd
from
like
November
that. I
5th,
don't know what day it would start or
I know,
what
but
day it
you're
would
choosing
finish.
7 weeks. Why are you
I would
saying
like
7
to see a
weeks versus
7-week
8?
period,
Why do you say 7 versus 8?
because I think that there's already 1 or 2 weeks of harvest already done.
So it had
And
nothing to do with Dale
Our
saying
harvest,
7
when I
weeks.
was working the cod division at Anderson, our harvest, most of the time, started the first day of September and generally ended most of the time the 1st of October. Now, there were a lot of years that we worked that did not end in October. It didn't end until January, February, March.
That's fine, I was just trying to figure out why you picked the number 7.
I just think that that'd be the best way to do it.
Okay, thank you.
So US Aggregates has a busy season towards the beginning of the spring. Would we hear them out on allowing them for their busy season to bring trucks through here? No?
I'm not in favor of that. I feel like if we could help through one season, that's asking enough. I mean, not that I wouldn't like to help, but we have to consider all the factors. And, you know, like this being a trial run, we could see what we could do. I think it shows an attempt to support a business, a fellow taxpayer.
So will you give the people downtown the same option to voice their opinion? Even though they're smaller, there's still businesses there. Will you spend time talking to them and see what them owners want to say about trucks coming through? Can I ask you that, would you?
I would try.
Okay, because I will.
Well, with the attitude that you have, it's kind of obvious.
Well, I mean, the attitude comes where it's warranted.
I will relay the information to the city attorney to draft an ordinance which allows truck traffic on East Main Street until November 15th for the calendar year 2017. It's kind of odd. I don't know what we're going to do with signage if this were to get passed. But let's...
I know, I saw the no truck sign.
We've got...
We'll take a vote, who wants to go forward with that? Gotta have 3 votes.
We have a motion to direct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance to allow truck traffic on East Main Street until November 15th, 2017.
I will make that motion.
I can't make a motion.
Yeah, I know.
I'll make it.
Councilman Seward made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Shockley with the second. Do we have any further discussion? The motion is to direct the city attorney to draft a motion, or to draft an ordinance which allows truck traffic on East Main Street until November 15, 2017. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. I will direct City Attorney Martin to draft an ordinance accordingly. Do we have any further business on this matter? Kyle, thank you for showing up today. Laura Walls, members of the EDC, I appreciate your attendance here tonight. Do we have any further discussion?
Can I just make one quick comment? I'm here tonight really as a neutral party, and Dick, who is one of your representatives to the EDC board, at our board meeting last Thursday, the board did not take an action to take a position on this. We fully support the Andersons. They're a great partner of ours. Fully support the city of Delphi, and consider you guys great partners as well. I think this is a very difficult decision. There's not an obvious answer, but I think long-term, and Mayor Evans is chairman of our Metropolitan Planning Organization with the Tippecanoe County APC. We've been talking about truck routes. I stand by that comment that with our local economy being ag-based, if we're not semi-tractor trailer friendly, we are not business friendly. And I get those complaints as well that we're not friendly to trucks. But I also like to go to the Stonehouse and brick and mortar pub. So I see it both ways. I think there needs to be a long-term solution, and the MPO would be the appropriate entity to address that. It's in our plan to look at that. But in the next, it's going to take at least a couple of years. But we need to identify good truck routes that are agreeable to the majority of people.
Thank you, Ms. Walls. Do we have any public comment?
I kind of want to ask.
Comment or question?
Well, ask about angle parking, because, the bump outs and the angle parking came, those were all allowed, and that narrowed the streets. So is there any thought about, we're gonna get back to parallel parking? I mean,
At this point, I wouldn't support it. If we saw safety concern
well,
when trucks are coming in,
Yeah.
then I would look at it. The bump out is generally the length of your vehicle that's sticking out anyway. It may go foot and a half further. So you still have the narrowness at some section of the road.
it's very narrow. And,
There's so many parking places.
And I'm wondering if the Andersons came when the ordinance was being developed and passed.
No, I believe we did not.
Were you notified?
I don't believe so.
Well, they were notified at the newspaper. We don't do an ordinance without that. So. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment? One last motion to be made.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.